Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for Build Your Stash and Craft. This is a supplement video number 14. It is attached to week 38, which was tea dyed and coffee dyed papers. I decided I was going to do it all on one video and decided it would be too long, so I decided to make this a supplement. So the next part as it starts is going to be a little bit, I had to split the video right in the middle, so it'll start off a little odd, but what I'm going to do is show you how to make the book to put your tea dyed papers in. So I will be right back and we'll get started with that. I kind of thought, I got to thinking about how I was going to make my book, and so I thought I would show you really quick. What I'm going to do is I want kind of like I want a book with binding. So I have a toilet paper roll, and I just flattened it out in half, but just one half, and then I'm just going to cut down those lines so that I kind of have a straight line. Because to me that's just the easiest way to kind of do it, to get a straight line. Otherwise I'd be like all going crooked. And there we go. Now I have two pieces here. I could use both of them, but I'm just going to trim up the like fold part on both sides because it's a little bit folded over still. Okay, now see that still has its bow to it, and that's what I was looking for because I want that for the spine of my book. And then I just grabbed a cake mix, and all I did was I cut the flaps off the top, and then I just took my toilet paper roll and held it even up with the top and just drew a line right here, and I'm just going to cut that. And I'm going to cut just above that line. Now, even though my book is not going to be from here to here long, I'm still cutting all the way across it because the other side has the fold here. So, there we go. Now what we need to do is decide how wide we want to make the book. And I think that I don't want it quite as wide as it is tall because I don't want it to be square. So it is 4 inches tall. I'm going to make it 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to put my 3 marks on here. Okay, put a line on there and cut that. Now don't cut your box while it's folded in half when you're cutting this, because like I showed you how it's got that other piece on the other side. If I were to cut this right here, I've got 3 inches, but if I were to cut that right here, see, it's going to be that short, even though it lines up when it's there. So make sure you do your 3 inches on this side and then your 3 inches on this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this off, and then I am going to take my toilet paper roll and I'm going to attach it on here. I'm going to glue it on like this. Let me get that other 3-inch side on here real quick. Whoops, it would help. Three, and 3. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my papers so that they fit. Put some signatures in there. And actually now I have, this one is, that one is about 2.5. So now I have a 3-inch book and a 2-inch book, and I have 1/2 of my toilet paper roll and the other half of my toilet paper roll. So I actually can make, I could make 2 books. And what I'm going to do, I think, is how this goes like this, and you'll have your space between your spine. I think that I am going to put my cording through around here and down through there, so that this is going to be my spine, and you won't see the cording that holds in my signatures. So, but that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to sand this down and do a little work on it, and then I'll come back and show you how it's coming along. Okay, I've painted my cover and I've painted my spine, and I have one rubber band left from the rubber bands when we made our last journal, and all I did was I twisted it in half, and I'm going to put it on my book. I want the twisty part on the other side, and then I'm going to put my spine on. So let's see, twist it in half. And I want the two flat parts on the inside, because that's what will hold my two signatures. I'm going to put that on there like that. And then that is going to be inside my spine. So there we go. And it's crossed on this side because I don't need to worry about signatures here. Alrighty. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heavy glue, if I can get it open. There we go. Don't use your teeth. And then I'm going to put some on the inside. My spine curves this way, so I'm going to put it on the inside here. And here. Here we go. And I'm just going to kind of curl this back up again because it got a little bit flat. And I really only need the curl here because the sides are going to be flat on the book. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of our containers that we got and stick that inside my book. Kind of make sure that my book is even on the sides here. And then I'm going to put this on here. Like that. See, doesn't that make a cute spine? Okay, and what I'm going to do is I have some rubber bands that we get on our mail. I'm going to put one of those on there to hold that. Then I'm going to do this side. Make sure that it kind of looks even across. Like that. And I am getting the glue kind of all over the place. It's squishing out. I don't want it to glue to my rubber band. But it's okay if it gets on the outside because I'm going to cover the outside. And there we go. And so that is how I'm going to let it dry. This is how it will look without the green in the middle, but I'll have two signatures. But I like this bow, and see my rubber band is on the inside, so on my spine I can do whatever I want without having to worry about that. And I still have my signatures inside without really messing with them too much. Okay, so I'm going to take this, get a piece of parchment paper for the top and for the bottom. And I'm going to set a book on it because I want this to really glue down well. And it keeps, the rubber bands are not holding it tight enough. It kind of held it in place while I was trying to get it together, but they're not going to hold it down tight. So that's that. That's how we're going to make our book. And then I will be back to show you some more of it. Okay, so my little book is dry, and I am going to I think I'm going to put some texture on the spine. I debated on putting texture on the front and back or the spine, and I think that I've decided that I'm going to use the tea texture and I'm going to put it on the spine. And it's a little bit runny, and I think it's a little bit runny because of all of the oh, what did I put in there? Can't think. Hand sanitizer. I think I put in too much hand sanitizer, which I put in because it has the rubbing alcohol in it, and I thought that would help it keep it from molding. We'll have to see how this is going to work. Bring a little bit onto the book, and I don't want it there. And hopefully it will kind of stick where it belongs when I get it spread out and not run because it's so thin. But we'll see. Live and learn. If you don't try, you'll never know. If you do try and it doesn't work, you just try it again. Yeah. Definitely don't want that much running down there. Oh, that looks kind of cool though. And I'm kind of thinking if I could make that the front. See, doesn't it look kind of cool? I don't know. I have to decide fairly quickly. If I don't want it there, I need to wipe it off. What to do, what to do. No, I think I'm going to wipe that off. If I decide that I want some on there, I can always put some back. But I haven't decided what I'm doing with the front and back, so I don't want to have to deal with that. So what I'm going to do is I think that I am going to use my heat gun to dry it, because it will dry it quicker and give it less of a chance to be running, because it's definitely going to want to run. Hold it this way, but that's what it looks like right now. Now that's going to lighten up, show the brown behind it, and it'll have the golden tint of the tea on it. So I just thought I would show you what I was doing there and what the book looks like so far. I like the way that these look inside and the way that it looks without having it on the spine. So I'm going to heat dry this, and then I'll be back once I figure out what I'm going to do with the cover in the back. Okay, I'm back and the book is dry, and this is what it turned out like. So the glue dried clear so that we could see the brown through, and it has wonderful texture. It feels so good. It's just so cool. And I wound up having to pick dog hairs off it because I dropped it on the floor about 3/4 of the way through drying. So but anyways, I love the way that turned out. I'm really glad that I put it on the spine. And then I have to decide what I want to put on the covers. And I thought about putting the paper towels because of the nice texture. And then I got to thinking that that's just not what I wanted for my cover. So what I did was I tea dyed a couple of book pages. And this one here, I did them last night. And I just left them on the pan, and I set the coffee jar on top. Just left it set there. And this is what happened by putting the coffee jar on top. So that's what I was talking about. You can put stuff on there and it will give you different looks, because that's what I kind of thought I was going to put on the cover. And then I wasn't sure about that. So the other two that I had dyed, I sprinkled some of the, I got them wet again this morning, sprinkled a little bit of the coffee on them and rubbed it in, and then let those dry. So I have these choices, and this is, I think, what I want to put on my cover, but I want to put it on an angle. I don't want to put it straight up and down like where I don't really want to read the words. So I just want them there as a look. I like how this says chapter 7 on it, and I'm hoping that that winds up either on my front or back cover. But I do want to do it at an angle, so I'm not sure if that's going to or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece of paper right on an angle, kind of like that, because that's like, there's my book cover. I want it to come to the edge of the spine here. So I'm going to cut it on a nice straight line like that, and my corner is sticking out down here. So if I cut it there, yes, if I cut it there, it will work. I just have to slide it down a little bit. Yes, so that's where I'm going to cut it, right there. And so we'll put it in here and see if I've got the hang of this yet. I want to cut it. And the reason I'm cutting it with the cutter is I want a nice straight line to go up against the edge of my spine. Okay, here we go, fingers crossed. I still haven't got I haven't got the hang of this yet. I think I did cut it where I wanted it. Okay, so now I'm going to place that right up against the spine. Just like that. I'm trying to see if I can get that chapter 7 in there. I can't quite. I'm going to see if I put it on the back. No, neither way does it work. And if I make it shorter, well, I guess I could make it shorter. Let's see here. No, I'm going to leave it like it is. That's where I cut it. That's where I'm going to leave it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue this with water glue. Just like this. And then after it's dry, I'll turn it over and I will cut around the edges of the book. Or maybe even fold it in. I don't know. I possibly could just fold it in. So there's that. That will work on the front. And let's see if the other piece will work on the back. And the other piece will not quite fit on the back. I'm sticking out on both sides. So I'm just going to take this piece here. I'm going to line it up with this one because I know this one is big enough. And I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger so that I'm not going to cut that piece. There we go. So now I have these two pieces to go ahead and put on there. I have to grab my brush. Here we go. And the water glue again is just 2 parts glue to 1 part water. White glue like Elmer's glue, school glue, the Jots glue. Oh, and I was going to explain in this video how I made the texture paste. This was a half a bottle of glue, and then I took 1 of the big round tea bags and cut it open, and I used my funnel that we made in last week's video and just set it right on top. They lined up evenly. It didn't fit inside, but that still worked, and I just held them together, dumped the tea in there, and then pushed it all down inside. Then what I did was I put 6 pumps of this hand sanitizer because I wanted the alcohol in here in my bottle. 6 pumps made it very thin. I think 1 pump would be enough just to get something in there so that it doesn't mold. And like I said, if it does mold, you throw it away. If you've used it some, you've wasted less than half of a bottle of glue. The tea you were going to throw away anyways. So, and also last night, I did take this and open it up like this and put little dots, and they were nice, rounded up, bumped up dots. I knew that they would flatten, and they did. But I did make these little dots. Now, the tea grounds do not come out this little spout. So it was just the colored glue, and I made these dots, and I'm going to put that on my book somewhere too. I think they turned out really cool. So, but that just gave us the color without the grounds. So I'll just do the front of the book here really quick, and then I'll go off and do the back and think about what I want to do, if I want to put something on the inside cover or not. I just haven't decided whether I really need it or not. And when I did the inside covers, it left kind of a little line here where I had put the that green container in there to hold it, to hold it nice and straight. And I kind of like that line in there. So I haven't decided if I want to cover it up or not. So it'll give me a little time to think about that. So I'm just going to take that like that. And then I'm just going to put this on here. Make sure that I get the whole thing covered. So I need to move it down. Pull it right up to my spine. Make sure my corners are covered. Press that down really well. Put my hand inside. Because this is thick paper, it's not like tissue where the glue is going to kind of soak through as much as the tissue. So I'm going to do that. And then put another coat on the top also. And that will seal, it'll seal the coffee and the tea that we've got on here. Because this paper is both. It was tea dyed and then the coffee was put on top. So there we go. I'm going to do the same thing to the back. Let them dry. If they get a little bit of crinkling or wrinkling in them, that's totally okay. It gives you texture to work on that front. So, and if you don't like it, I kind of put my hands in the glue. Really didn't need it on my bottom finger. And then just kind of rub that out. If you put the glue on your finger while you're trying to do that, your fingers won't stick to your paper and lift it up. So that's why I do that, just so that it glides across there easily as I'm trying to get those wrinkles out. So there we go. I'm going to do the back and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've dried the whole thing with my heat gun, and I was thinking about folding it in, and folding it in makes such a nice clean line, and cutting it would make a really nice clean line. And I kind of didn't want it so clean. So what I've decided to do, I had folded it in like this. Let's see here. The whole thing looked like that. And so then I folded it in and I folded it in, and then I decided I didn't like the way that it looks. So what I did was I used some sandpaper along with our handy little sandpaper holder. And then with it folded over the edge of the book, just take your sandpaper, and I only left this one little side because I know some people can't stand the sound of sandpaper. I really don't mind it. And then you just sand along that edge, just kind of on an angle from, on an angle outwards like that. And you just sand back and forth. And what happens is then your paper just starts to cut right off. And what you do is then after you get it sanded, like here on this corner, on this edge, I still have a little bit attached. So you just sand a little bit there. And there's a little bit right here that's still attached. You just go, and where it's attached, I don't like to pull it. I just like to, if it's still attached, just give it a little bit more of a sand. There we go. And then if you have any pieces that are sticking up that you don't like the way they look, just go in and sand it. Do it a couple of ways and it will take it off. And so, like this corner right here. There. And that is, and I already did the back, and I did that exactly the same way. It just doesn't give you quite as clean of a cut. And then if we want to go around that and color it in a little bit, just darken the edges, which I might do with some coffee glue, or coffee water even, because that's a nice color brown and we know that it will blend with this. So I think I might make some thick coffee and possibly just touch the edges. And I might put it in a little bit of glue so that as I do that, it kind of sticks right there to the edge. And then on the inside, I don't really think I want to line the inside. I thought about it. But what I might do is take, these are the pieces that we cut off earlier. And I thought that I might put those in the front to make a little pocket. Okay, I'm back to finish it up. So this is how far I've got. And after saying that I didn't want to line it and I was going to put pockets in the front and the back, I did line it with the paper towel. And I really liked the way that that looked. So I did not put the pockets in the front and the back. So I have the first signature in. It's 4 pages. and then a pocket in the middle. And Betsy Doodle showed how to make this pocket, and I'm going to show you how to make it to fit in your book. I'm not going to give you measurements because your book may be a different size. So, but I did put my little strip on here. I just glued that on. And for the pages, I just cut 4 pages because my book is 3 by 4. I cut it 4 inches tall and 6 inches long. Folded them in half and just put them in as a signature, just like that. And that's how you get your signatures. And then to make the pocket, you're going to just take a piece of paper, and this is my sample here. But if you make a large, you can make your book any size you want. I have this pie crust, and that's the perfect size to fit that around. So you could use a paper towel roll and make a really tall one. And if you didn't want it to be tall and skinny, you could take the 2 flaps of your book, the cover and the front and back covers, and you could just cut a piece of cardboard that is, let's say the 8 inches tall or 11 inches tall by 8 inches wide. Cut a piece of cardboard, 2 pieces of cardboard that size, and sandwich it onto the cover. And then cut 2 more pieces of cardboard that size and just sandwich it on the back cover. And then your cover would be 8 inches wide and 11 inches tall. And you would use your paper towel holder instead of the toilet roll holder to make your spine. And you would just cut this 11 inches tall, and then you would cut your cardboards. So you can make any size journal that you want to make with this. You don't have to make a teeny tiny one. I like small. But so in order to get the pocket that we're going to make, you're going to need your paper to be twice as long as your book plus about 1 inch. So we're just going to say that there is 1, there is 2, and then we're going to go up about 1 inch, right about here. And I'm going to put a fold right there so I can get kind of a straight cut, because we know me and straight cuts. I'm going to do that. There we go. So that should give me a fairly straight cut, and I'm just going to cut it right there. So this is now twice as long as my book plus approximately 1 inch. There we go. All right, so then what we're going to do is we are going to fold our paper to the size of our book. Right about there. I need to bring it down just a little bit from there. Okay, so now this piece of paper to the fold is about from the top of the book to the bottom of the book. I'm just going to fold it right there. So fold it across. Okay, and then I'm going to take our flap, which is actually more than 1 inch. I can see that. And I don't really want it to be that big, so here we go. I'm going to cut an unstraight line. Do the best I can. I'm going to cut it to about 3/4 of an inch because this is a pretty small pocket. There we go. That measurement there doesn't have to be anything. You just need to have a flap there. Okay, so then what I am going to do is I'm going to open it up. And our folds are going this way. I'm going to fold it in half, because that will be... Did I do that right? I'm going to fold it in half. I sure hope so. Okay, fold it in half. Yes, I did that right because that little extra flap goes at the top. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each side and fold them in towards the middle, but not all the way. About, a 1/2 inch or so away from the center line, which is here. I'm going to take the other side and do the same. Go about 1/2 inch from that center fold. There we go. So now we've got folds going up and down. Now we're going to take this outside flap, this piece here, and we're going to fold that corner down to that fold. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Fold the corner down to the fold, to this fold here. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to fold this corner up to the fold and fold this corner up to the fold. And now it looks like this. We still have our little flap at the top. Okay, so we're going to fold these in. And then we are going to fold it in half with all of our little pockets on the outside. And turn it over, and we're going to take this flap that we made, fold it down, and then tuck our corners. We wound up with a little corner here when this was this side, when we folded this down. We wound up with this, and we're just going to tuck our corners in there. Tuck the corner of this in there. Tuck this corner over here and here. Press it out flat. And then there we go. We'll fold that in half because that's going to be our center pocket. And so now we have a pocket here and a pocket here that we can put tags in. We have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. There's also kind of little pockets in the top there that you can use. So then we're just going to take that, and I'm going to put that in the center of my signature so that we have one of those at the center of each signature, and we can put tags in there. And that is what our book looks like. Now I thought about putting some color around the edges, so I thought that we'll try that really quick. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of my water glue. You're not going to need much because you're just going to use it to paint around the edges. And then a little bit of our coffee. And I had a stir stick here somewhere, but I have lost it. Oh, here it is, right here. I'm just gonna use my little stir stick, put some coffee in there, and stir that around in the glue to make the glue brown. Now, if it doesn't mix completely and you have some dark spots and some light spots, that'll work too. It'll just give you more interest to your project. So there we go. Now we've got that, and we'll just take our book and we'll see how it looks. I'm going to start on the back. If I really don't like it, I don't have to do the front. I'm going to hold my pages away because I don't want to get it on my pages. Remember, it's glue. So don't let it glue onto your pages. And I'm just going to touch the edges. Kind of go across the top also. And that's going to cover those edges. Where we sanded our paper off, and you might be able to see a little cardboard or a little paper through there. So that'll color that. And I'm just touching it on there. I'm not really trying to make it an even line. You can if you want to. I like it to be a little bit raggedy. And there we go. That's working really well. I love that color. Okay, and what I'm going to do, because the glue is going to dry clear, and then we'll see how it actually looks when the glue dries. I'm going to touch these edges, make sure that I get them good. There we go. And this is what it looks like, and I do like that look. So you can come in a little further. I just wanted to touch it. I've got a little piece here of the tissue that is sticking out, and I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to nip that off. And I might have to touch it with a little bit more brown. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the front, and I'm going to dry them, and I will come back and I'll show you the completed book will be all done. It worked great, and we finished the book. So I dried it, and I did cut off that one little piece and put a little bit more in its place. But this is what our little book turned out like, and you can make these in any size. but it has all of these wonderful papers in it, papers with texture and just some flatter papers. And then we have our wonderful little pockets in the middle. And just, I love the way that this turned out. I love the colors. This is just my favorite. And I even like that little pop of purple from our band. So I hope that you like the way that the book turned out. I hope that you try some yourself. Make it any size. And if you have any questions on making it a different size, just let me know, or any questions on this. And I love the coffee glaze. This is what was left over from what I made, so I just put it on here because I thought it was wonderful. It's see-through, it has some shine to it, it is just great. So when we made our coffee papers, I used 10 sheets of paper and 3 book pages, and we were able to make our book. We have this wonderful, I'm going to make some tags, I think, out of these when they dry. I have all of these extra pieces from when I cut the pages for the book. I still have 3 half sheets. I have almost all of my paper towels and still 3 full sheets of paper. So, you know, it goes a long ways, and you can always make more, you know, while you're doing it so that you have some to put away and use later. But I hope that you enjoyed the book. I hope that you enjoyed the coffee and tea dyed paper. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.